All right, so I'm really excited at this point to introduce you to Kevin Shaw. Many of you likely know Kevin already. Kevin's been a longtime board member of Promise Partners, and he became a business owner using this method, right? Using ETA, entrepreneurship through acquisition. He was doing that before schools like Harvard and Stanford and Chicago Booth and even Weatherhead were teaching ETA. He's done over 60 acquisitions, I think, in his career, and supported dozens of people, many people in this room, on their journey to entrepreneurship through acquisition. I'm grateful to call you a friend, Kevin, and excited for what you're going to share. I'd love for you to come up and just tell us a little bit about the history of Promise Partners. Let's give Kevin a hand.
Jeff, for that nice introduction. I'm really glad to be with you and share a couple thoughts with you this morning. It was such a powerful exercise to have Jeff walk us through the purpose, why we're here today, and the answers were both interesting and inspiring to me. You know, if we can make a difference to individual lives or to communities or to the businesses that we choose, that's a wonderful thing. One of the things I think about when I'm in front of a group like this, and what I want to encourage you to think a little bit about as we go through the morning, is all the choices that you made that led to our being together today. You know, which friends or courses or events tilted the path that you took to come to this meeting on this morning? Which ideas, you know, some big, some seemingly inconsequential, brought you here? Whatever those choices were, I'm so glad they happened, because I think we have a chance to have a great morning. This morning, I'd like to share with you a choice that I made 39 years ago. And my hope is that by joining me on my journey, I will help you to forge ahead, help you to realize that the path is not really scary, and to recognize that you are not alone or crazy. So buckle up and enjoy this ride. I want you to go back. I was 26 years old. I had just finished Stanford Business School. I had no profit and loss responsibility ever in my work history. I had never managed anyone. But I did have 2 job offers, and I want to put these job offers in front of you so that we can get a show of hands as to which one I should choose. The first one was to work with a fellow named John Outcalt, a local successful investment manager, and Richard Osborne that you heard about earlier, a professor at Case. And I would be put on the payroll of a $200,000 revenue per year pipe sealant company as the only full-time employee, with the task of finding a company to acquire and then running it. So that's alternative number 1, pipe thread compounds. Alternative number 2 is to go to work for McKinsey & Company, one of the more prestigious consulting firms in the country, get paid 50% more, get financial support for a down payment on a house, and have numerous bonus opportunities. So I'd like a show of hands, candidly now. We got sealants and we got McKinsey. How many of you are going to choose sealants? Put your hands up. Oh, good. We're in the right room. How many choose McKinsey? All right, well, keep listening. I want to change your minds. Anyway, that was my choice so many years ago. So it was I who was standing and looking down 2 different paths, potentially. And as I laid these pros and cons out to my dad, and for really the first significant choice in my life, we disagreed. He thought I was crazy to think about working for a tiny, single-product, $200,000 a year company. So the question is, why did I choose sealants over McKinsey? I think some of it was to work with John Outcalt, who was really well respected and somebody I could learn from. Some of it was to work with Richard Osborne, who became a mentor, a longtime supporter, and a great friend over lots of years. But honestly, I think most of it was the choice and the chance to bet on myself, which I can only, it wasn't conscious at the time, but looking back, I think that's the case. And I'm guessing that you are likely here today because you dream of a similar choice at some point in your life. And Robert Frost has this great poem that that Road Not Taken, that I think so bears on this, captures the essentials of a choice like this. And I want to read you the last stanza of this poem, which I take to mean that he knows that sometime in the future, he'll look back and reflect on the choices he's made. So he writes, and listen carefully to this, he writes, "I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere, ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." Now, what I want you to focus on in that little poem is the word sigh. So think about that, because when he uses the word sigh, does it mean a tinge of regret? Or does he say sigh because he's really nostalgic and reliving a fulfilled choice? It worked. He was thrilled. So that's what I want you to think about. And most importantly, I want you to think 20 years from now, when you look back on your careers, what will your sigh mean? As for me, I'm really happy I went into small business. This was the less traveled road. It led me to becoming an entrepreneur. As was mentioned earlier, it led me to becoming the CEO of a company that linked 40 other entrepreneurs in a public company through acquisition, lots of acquisitions. These entrepreneurs chose to join our company because we were out to change the world. We wanted to change healthcare. Now, all these years later, others have named this effort much better and clearer than I ever thought of it, and it's ETA. It's entrepreneurship through acquisition. And some things just haven't changed. ETA remains the road less traveled. It's far more common to choose a corporate America job or consulting. But here's the thing. As this gathering demonstrates, my story is a side story. I shared it because I wanted you to feel the choice that I felt. I wanted you to have a vivid sense of choosing the road less traveled. But here's the secret about entrepreneurship. The path to entrepreneurship is hard, but the road to entrepreneurship is known. It's known by a support group here in Cleveland that's comprised of like-minded partners, all who seek to become entrepreneurs through acquisition. And this group is Promise Partners. They are the main stage. Richard Osborne and Pat Morris. Pat, will you put your hands in the air so I can embarrass you? We're our great founders of this organization. Well over 20 years ago, I guess it's 30 years ago, I heard from Sean. And it is slowly building this wonderful legacy, a tradition of partners helping each other. About 18 years ago, Richard Osborne asked that I might join this board, and I've just been so impressed by the consistent help that one partner to another is going on in this group. The group is called Promise Partners because its purpose is to help one another achieve their promise. And as a group, these partners have some notable similarities. They are optimistic. They are resilient. They are disciplined and hardworking. They believe they can change the future. And finally, they're exactly the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. Since its beginning, and we mentioned earlier, over 85 companies have been acquired by 65 heroes. That's what we call a partner who buys a business, a hero. But behind the scenes, that equates to thousands of reviewed companies, thousands of letters of intent, hundreds of bank financing. In short, lots of experience. It's they who are sponsoring our symposium, and their only function is to help others achieve their dream of business ownership. We're paying it forward, hoping to celebrate lots of successes, creating a ripple that goes through families, through businesses, and through the community. Now, to sum up, for those who needed that extra cup of coffee, I really had only 3 points that I wanted to make today. First, small business can develop lots of good to the world, and it's a place where you can bet on yourself. Second, the path to get to small business is hard, but the road is known, and Promise Partner knows the ropes. Third, as you prepare for the inevitable look backwards on your career and your choices, I hope your sigh is one of fulfillment and of achieved promise. Thank you.